this whole camp registration deal, if you don't know who I am, first off, I'm Jared. That's Jason. We are the directors of Oklahoma Cow Camp. The director of Texas Camp and Alabama Camp could not be here today, probably because I travel a long way. I don't know. I live an hour, so it was pretty easy. But if you have any questions about this registration process, me and Jason and Homer and actual MediaQuest who created this deal, that we're all here. So if you have any questions about the backdoors of the software, we will have a question and answer portion right after lunch, right back in here or possibly in that room. But I'm going to run through this software from start to finish as a parent and as a church coordinator, just to give you an idea of how this works, to give you an idea of the basics of this process. And one thing I do want to mention to you is everything that I'm going to talk about today is in this video right here. This is the parent portion of signing up. So if you have parents, once you create your church, once you create the event that you're going to, if you have parents that say, I don't know how to do this, if you literally just take them to the American Fellowship of Cowboy Church's website and show them where camp registration is, it is the biggest thing on that page is the tutorial video of how to sign a student up for camp. Now, if you are a church coordinator, yeah, for sponsors as well, If you are a church coordinator, your video is linked inside once you make your account. So you would start the process out pretty similar as a parent or sponsor would. You would press sign up, you would press church coordinator, fill out the basic information, and then once you get into your account, there is a little button at the top that says watch tutorial. That tutorial is specifically for church coordinators. So it is a completely different tutorial video. It goes into way more detail about how you sign a church up. You just learning that for the first time? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Just because it was me, right? No, I'm just kidding. But it goes into way more detail about how you can sign your church up, how you can look at and watch all of your attendees for your church as they roll in, how you can sort information, how you can export information. It goes through a lot of different things. But a lot of that we're going to go over today. And so starting from the ground up, I'm going to log in first as a parent or a sponsor because this is what you're probably going to have to answer the most questions about this year. So if I'm a parent or a sponsor, I'm going to press sign up. I'm going to click on parent or sponsor, which should be already defaulted to. I'll fill out some basic information. Now here's something that is different on the parent side than is on the church coordinator side. If you are the church and you have already created your church code or your church in general, you will have created a church code. So once you go in, you create your church, which again, we'll go over all that here in a second. You will make your church code. What this church code does is it will link anyone, whether they are another church coordinator, whether they are a parent, whether they are a sponsor, whatever role they play in signing up for camp, it will link them directly to your church. So they don't have to go in, they don't have to search for your church, they don't have to figure out what camp that you're even signing up for. It automatically links them into your church and what weeks of camp you are attending. So they'll type that in right there once they have created, or once you have created a church code, and then you will go here and you will make or continue making your login. So I'm just going to add in some random information. All right, so once I've created my login, it kicks me back out. And then I go right here and I have to sign in. So now I'm in, and as you know, I am a parent that did not put a church code in. So I'm not sure if my church has created an account yet. I wasn't given a church code. Nobody told me about a church code. I just stumbled across the AFCC website and wanted to look at it. So because I don't have a church code, nothing shows up right here. It says that my associated churches has not registered for any camp events yet. It's because I'm not included in a church. I'm not included in a camp. So if this is the case for you, you would click on My Churches. Nothing's going to show up. And then you would click on Join New Church. Now, a question that we've been getting a lot in the past week is people will sign up as a parent sponsor meaning to sign up as a church coordinator, and they say, where do I add my church? There is a button that you'll see whenever we go to the church coordinator side right next to the join new church, and in between the refresh that is a plus arrow or a plus sign. If you do not see that plus sign there, chances are you have signed up as a camper or as a sponsor. And you can see that on that top left side where it says test, it says user right there. If you are a church coordinator, it will say church. So if you are signing up as a church coordinator, make sure that your account says church. If it doesn't, email us and we can go in the backside and switch your account over to a church user. So I haven't signed up for a camp, but I want to sign up for a camp. And so I can run through the full list of all the churches that are going to any of the camps. This is across Texas, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Let's say that I want to join this church right here. Join church. Once I've joined that church, now they show up under my church's tab on that left side. So now that they show up, I can click into that church, and it shows me that they have signed up for Oklahoma preteen camp, and they have signed up for Oklahoma Teen 2 camp. Now again, this is on the parent side. This is where transparency and communication comes in big on your part. Because there's going to be a lot of parents that are going to see the different options for preteen and for teen camp, and they're going to sign up little Johnny that's in 3rd grade to go to teen camp. Little Johnny's not going to make it, okay? If he goes to teen camp, go ahead and count him out for next year because he's probably not going to be living and breathing. So make sure that your parents know what week of camp their kid needs to go to based on their age. If you don't know, 3rd through 6th grade is our preteen camp, and 7th grade through 12th grade is our teen camp. The best way I can explain it to you is that it is the grade that they just completed. Now, being that it is summer, everybody says, well, they're going into 3rd grade. There is a large difference between a 2nd grader going to camp and a 3rd grader going to camp. Again, little Johnny won't make it. So make sure that they have just completed that 3rd grade. And even if you have a senior that is 18 years old, if they just graduated high school and they are 18 years old, they just graduated in May or whatever month, April, and then camp's in June, they can go to camp. But make sure that that 18-year-old is responsible and is able to carry themselves in a way that is reasonable for an 18-year-old because they are older. They are bound to more things just being over 18 years old. So that is kind of a little bit on the preteen and teen side. So say that I want to go to Teen 2 with Wood County Cowboy Church. I would click into Teen 2. Now, Wood County does not have any attendees or any children or any sponsors signed up at this point. So what I would do is I would go to register a camper. Now, this part might confuse some people because this software that we're using is meant to carry over from year to year to year. So if you are a parent and you are signing up 7 of your kids, first off, God bless you. I don't wish that on anybody. But if you have 7 kids for whatever unknown reason, maybe you weren't a believer whenever you had all those kids or something, and you have all those kids signed up to go to camp, the next year, whenever you go to sign all those kids up for camp, all of their information will still be in there. We'll just ask you to update some of those things. So at this part, it shows that there's a drop-down bar, but there's nobody in my account. But next year, I can go in and I can select whatever student I have signed up previously to go with me again. So you'd go to new attendee, and then right here, it automatically shows the church, the week of camp, the dates for the week of camp that I am attending. So if I'm wanting to sign up a camper, my student or my child, this box right here already says camper in it. If you are signing up or if you are having somebody sign up as a sponsor, be sure that they click down on this and they select sponsor. Once they select sponsor, it changes the entire form. It changes the verbiage on the form. It changes certain parts of the form and what information is required or not required. And you'll notice that once you go through this, it will not allow you to go to the next step without the information being submitted, without the information being filled in. So we'll go right here. We'll fill out just some random information. So if you move on, he has all the information in here. You go to next. It's going to ask you some of the health question stuff. Again, there is required fields. You cannot go on to the next section without filling out what is required. So then you got to click on the box first. So then you move on to emergency contacts. You can add as many emergency contacts as you want, or you can just do one. All we need is one if they are a dependable contact, but you can add as many as possible.
Should it be someone who's not at campus?
I mean, ideally, yes, but we can't specify that on our end. If you want to tell your parents that, yes, absolutely, somebody not at camp.
I mean, like for like the sponsors, because like we had an emergency contact for my husband, but he's
Going to be there with you, yeah. Yeah, no, ideally, yes. Ideally, yes, somebody that's not there. So, all right, on this part, we are filling this part out as a sponsor, so that, again, this is going to look different. Obviously, the camper side will not have this. This is specified for sponsors, and so this is the background check information. So right here, wow, you know my middle name? Gosh, love you too, buddy. So my maiden name, that's private. So right here, you would fill out all the background check information, and this is going to be submitted into a backdoor spreadsheet type thing that nobody else has access to except for 3 people. So this is very private. This is obviously something we do not want to share information with. So if anybody is sketchy about putting their driver's license number and birthday and all that on there, we're being as safe about this as possible. So you'll fill out that basic information, and then you will go on to the release of liabilities part. So one thing that I want all of us as camp in general to be aware of is this year we are not having an electronic sign, like where you have to take a pen and sign on the screen. There are check boxes, and we changed the verbiage in our releases of liability to where that checkbox is holding a parent or guardian legally responsible to the agreement. So if they try to say, well, this checkbox doesn't mean anything, it is in our verbiage that checkbox is holding them as a parent or a guardian legally binding to our liability information. Same thing at the very bottom. Once they get done with the whole entire form, there is a box that they will type their name in, and it does this really pretty fancy cursive font. And that is just our way of verifying that all the information they have put in, whether they are a sponsor, whether they're a camper, whatever role they play in camp, that their information is true and accurate. So this part he moved on to here, this is the, well, we're still on the background check. Thought we had a faster typer. Sorry about that. So that part's done. This is the release of liability I was talking about. That's the checkbox. It is required. This is specifically for Oklahoma camp. Texas and Alabama camp do not have that extra waiver. And then this is where you would type in, or a parent or guardian would type in their signature or their name. Yeah, I might need you over there, Cody. So this part right here, if you are a sponsor signing up, this is the part that will take them into the database or the ability to do the child protective training. So right here, they will enter in their basic information. Well, they would have entered in their basic information, and it would have taken them to the child protective training. Now, if you are having a sponsor sign up for your camp and they didn't do the child protective training at first, it is okay. They didn't lose it. There's 2 different ways that they can get to it. They can. Did you go back to the login?
Well, no, I did it through the deal. Let me go back.
Sorry. So it is going to show up at the bottom of their registration page. So each person that signs up for camp has their own page with all of their information. It shows their contacts, their medicine, their food or diet restrictions, their registered events, and then on that bottom left-hand side, it shows that they have not completed or taken the quiz. So if they click on that, it asks them the information to link them with their profile, and then it also gives them the option to download all of the training information. Now, what I would suggest to you is if you are a youth pastor or if you are the coordinator for your church, have all of your sponsors do this at one time. Go over all the information at once. It's going to sucketh whenever you're having to read the whole PDF, but at least not all your sponsors are having to read it individually. So go over the child protective training quiz or information with all of them. Then you're going to go in. If your information's right, yeah, I don't remember what birthday I put on there. Yes, sir.
Coordinator, they could probably download that literature and print it off,
Yes, they definitely can. Yeah.
and basically, let them review it before taking it.
Yes, absolutely. It's a PDF. So even if you wanted to print it off and hand it to your people and go over it all together, you can do that. But you'll go in, and if you have your information right, which I don't remember what birthday I put on there, but it will take you automatically to the quiz. And it's a true or false, or it is the multiple choice. And you go all the way through it, and then you go to the next where you submit. It's very self-explanatory, very easy. You don't have to worry about it, Jason.
Well, let's see. I have a fucking.
It was test.
Why did you make your name Tess?
Well, because look at there. So, all right. So if you go through it, just click random ones. We don't want to give them the answers. So if you go through it, you just keep selecting, go into next, selecting, go into next, until the very, very end, and then you will select next after that. So on 10 through 25, definitely going to fail it. Yeah.
What do they think they're about me when I fail this test?
Hey, can we fire Jason if he fails it? Okay.
You'll rehire me. Then you gotta go by yourself.
Yeah, never mind. Take it back.
It's either got a timer on the question, so you can't do an open book test unless you're really fast.
Right. All right, so you've made it to question 25. You go there. It says, uh-oh, please retake the quiz. Jason's fired. So it makes you retake the quiz either right then and there, or you can go back and look at the material. Now, if somebody failed it and they said, forget this, I'm going to take it later, it will still show up on their profile that they have not passed the quiz. Whenever you look at their profile, it will either show up green and it will give you the score that they made on the test, or it will show up that it's either incomplete or failed. So you can have a running list of your sponsors and who has done their child protective training and who has done their background check. Now, if their background check does not show that they are approved for it, it will show that they are pending for it, because we have to take that information and actually run it through public data and make sure that their background comes back clean. So once we do that, they will be verified that their background is clean, and that sponsor is done with all paperwork for camp. Now, on the student side of it, or the camper side of it, it is obviously not that strenuous. There is not that much material. And so they will not have to do the child protective training or the background check. It is just the normal registration form. They click submit, and their information shows up there. Now, as a parent, this is really all that I need to know. If I wanted to go back and sign up 7 kids, like what we were talking about, I would go back to my churches on that left side. I would click into my church, and then I would click into the event that I signed up test for. So it was Teen 2, I think is what I signed up for. Yeah, and there's my information for my person. Now, if I signed up test for Teen 2 and tester for pre-teen camp, it'll divide it by those different camps. Or if I wanted to look at all of my attendees, no matter what camp they went to, on that left side, I could click on my attendees, a little bit further left. And it'll show all of the people that have signed up under my account, or that I have signed up under my account. So that's the parent side of it. Any questions?
Jared, go back to your attendees.
Okay.
You know, my church, and select your event, and then show them all the different forms that's under that specific attendee's name.
Go to Team 2.
Go to Team 2. That's your camp.
Team 2.
All right, now click on that.
Yeah. So this is the same page as earlier. So all of the information on that table on the right shows their contact information, their medical health, food diet restrictions, and then the registered events. So if you have a student that has medicine that they are bringing to camp, you do not have to have that paper form showing what times they take their medicine. Now, if you want to have that paper form, by all means, please add that paper form in. But our nurses will have access to this So all you need to do is show what medicine goes with what kid, and when they turn that in, we will group it by church, named for that kid, and the nurse will have all of the medicine, the times that they take them, if they take them with food, whatever restrictions there are, they have all that information there. So there is no need to have that medicine form like we have had in the past. Obviously, if you want to add it in, by all means, but you don't have to have it.
Can you, like from that, from the coordinator side, can you export that out to like an Excel spreadsheet?
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll go over the coordinator side here in a second. But yes, you can do that.
So Jared,
Yes, ma'am.
parent go in on like the medicine part and change things before camp.
So that is something that we are going to have in this next edit. That's coming out hopefully by the middle of next week.
Something that can happen between now
Right.
and camp.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that we are going to have edited in, is that parents and church coordinators are going to be able to edit attendee information. Now, something that we might lean toward is making it to where only church coordinators can edit that information, because they're going to have the most access to talk with us that know the, I say us, that know the system. MediaQuest and the software engineer that knows the system, and parents just might go in there and erase a bunch of information. Not saying they will, but it could happen. And then we're in a worse spot than where we started. So it'll more than likely be left on the church coordinator to do that. To make edits, exactly. Any other questions about the parent side? All right, we are going to move over to the church coordinator side. You want me to do it, or you got it?
Are we ready to give that link to those parents now and say, this is our church code, get your kid signed up?
Absolutely. If you have made your church, you are more than welcome to sign or send that link out and give the church code for your parents. So if you are signing up as a church coordinator, so you'll click over on church coordinator. You will again fill out, here I actually have an account ready for that. So you will start to fill out this information. Again, you will not, if you have not made a church, you will not fill out the church code. Now, if you have already made a church and somebody else in your youth group is going to be the liaison for parents, or you want to add them into the,
Not trying to stop you, but,
It's 11:51 lunch is 11:50.
so do you wanna come back and do this after lunch since we have some time scheduled, or are y'all good to roll on through part of lunch? That's up to y'all. I wanna be good stewards of y'all's time.
Has everybody set up their church yet?
who has not set up their church? All right, perfect. So we'll kind of skip through this, and I'll just show you some of the backdoor stuff.
And if y'all have
On-
any questions,
Yeah, we have another session after this.
and come find us at lunch, we're willing to answer any questions you have.
I'll show y'all a few of the backdoor things whenever you get into a church. Yep, that will help make it easier on you. So when you are a church coordinator, you have signed up your church, you have signed up your church for an event, and you are just waiting on students to sign up. Once you have students starting to roll in, you can click on your church, and then you can click on the week of camp. And this is where you're going to be able to edit the information that your student has on their form. So as of right now, all you can do is, here, let me see real quick.
So again, this is a work in progress. It's something that we've seen a need. So as y'all go through this system and you're like, man, I don't understand that, I don't get that, or this doesn't look right, there's a place where you can ask questions. There's a question mark down the right-hand corner that'll send us an email. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate at all, because we know we're going to have problems. We know there's kinks in it, and that's what we're available to help you with. Or maybe if you're a church coordinator and you just cannot figure it out, that's when we will come and help y'all however we can. If we got to come to your church to sit down with you, we're willing and available to do that type of stuff, because we want to make this as most streamlined as possible for y'all, for us, for the kids. And that's our goal, is that way it's not a whole bunch of paperwork. The day of camp, Billy forgot his paperwork. We'll be able to check before we even leave camp. Or, oh, they forgot to sign this piece of paper. That should all be null and void now because of the system. All right, Jared.
Yep, I'm ready for it. All right, so this page, as a church coordinator, this is the last thing we'll go over, and then we'll go to lunch. This page where I'm at right now is going to be the main page that you need to stay on as a church coordinator. So on your menu bar, on the left is the church's option. Once you click into your church, it brings up the table, all the information for your church, just like an attendee would. So your events are right here that you can click into, and then all of your attendees are right here. This is where you can delete an attendee off of your page. So like I said, this is subject to be added into other parts of the deal, but for right now, this is where you can delete an attendee and make further edits as of next week. So registered members, all that means is these are the people that have signed up as an account under your church. So this is going to be the parents of whatever students sign up, or the church coordinators. Your name will be under registered members. This is their role. I just think she peed all over me, but I might be wrong about that deal. No, she didn't. That's just sweat. Take my waist trainer off now. Whew, I can breathe. And then if you want to look at camps, again, this is just the options for camps, my attendees, and then billing. Billing is a huge part of what we're going to go over after lunch. So hopefully you didn't want to go anywhere else, because you're going to be stuck in here with us again if you want to know about billing.